Welcome into the historic Jim Whelan Boardwalk Hall. I'm Kyle Scannell alongside Andrew Jameson, and today we are opening up the 2026 men's basketball tournament here for your Fairfield Stags. Stags enter tonight the 7th seed after finishing the season with an overall record of 19-12. The Jaspers will come in as the 10 seed matchup, having finished their season at the mirror 12-19 record. Winner of this matchup will be set to play the number 2 seed St. Peter's 24 hours from now. Coming into this one, the Stags have shown that they can beat tough teams, and it starts with a win tonight to get these wheels turning. They're going to be looking for this senior leader, Braden Sparks, to lead them there. He's earned all MAAC second team honors this season. Looks to set the pace tonight alongside rookies Brandon Benjamin and Declan Wooker-Fenig, who both earned all MAAC rookie team honors, and Benjamin as well earned himself a spot in the all MAAC second team. Looking at the Jaspers, Jaden Winston leading the way for the club. He earned himself a spot on the all MAAC defensive team alongside a place in the all MAAC third team. For Jaspers, currently averaging double digits per game, including Winston himself, Terrence Jones, Devin Dinkins, and Fraser Roxborough. Last year, Devin Dinkins was the MAAC 6th Player of the Year winner. It's a deep basketball team. You can find scoring from a lot of guys on the court. How is Fairfield going to aim to limit them tonight, Andrew?
Yeah, your best way to counter your opponent's depth is to get depth contributions from your own bench. It starts with Deuce Turner, Isaac Munkadi, quality minutes from Ryan Zan. Fairfield solidified themselves a big three of Braden Sparks, Brendan Benjamin, Declan Wooker-Fenig. But really, it's as X factors. Who's going to contribute in those minutes when they're off the court? Can Isaac Munkadi play like he did against Quinnipiac, against Siena when Brendan Benjamin was inactive? Can Ryan Zan be a good presence in the paint and really make X factor in the rebounding battle, which is one of the keys to today's game for Fairfield? And for Deuce Turner, can they be a consistent six-man off the bench? We talked about Devin Dinkins. He was sixth man of the year for Manhattan last year. Deuce Turner was a projected all MAAC third team, and he started the year in the starting lineup. However, he's on the bench now, but he's still an integral part of this team, and when he's on, the Stags unlock a new layer and have a much higher potential.
Yeah, absolutely. Taking a look at the matchups these teams have played so far this season, it's two different tales. We look back to January 14th, Stags took home a astounding 98-62 victory, and that was on the back of, surprisingly, not the big three that you just mentioned, right? We saw Tony Williams with 16 points, and then you look at like Benjamin, just the 11, and then Sparks, a 6, 2 of 9 shooting nights. So that's that example of that bench coming in. Deuce Turner obviously having himself a great night, but the other matchup, just about a month prior, was December 5th. That was a 70-66 loss that Fairfield took. And, Braden Sparks, great game, 22 points, but doesn't result in the win. So that's why today, your point stands true. We're going to need contributions all across the board, or else we might fall short here.
Yeah, and it feels like, as much as Sparks goes, the team goes, it really is the bench contributions. But I also want to point out another stat in that first game, albeit it was a closer game than the second one. Manhattan shot way more free throws than Fairfield, more specifically 17 of 21 from the line. Fairfield's just 6 of 7. So Manhattan has been able to get to the line much better. That's going to be way more important, especially in a playoff type environment. And Manhattan is first in the conference in free throw shooting percentage. They shoot about 79% from the court. Fairfield's ranked 9th at just 71%. So it's definitely, albeit maybe not the biggest stat, something to keep an eye on as this game progresses tonight.
Absolutely. And, with the season coming to a close, I think, it deserves a recognition. But, again, we talked about at the start, Brandon Benjamin, right? The stellar rookie season he had, some of the stats on the screen that are worth pointing out, 44 blocks, 1.5 per game. He is a extreme paint presence. He pushes guys out. He does a great job of, following the play, always staying with it. 10 rebounds a game and 14 double-doubles this season. That's an impact that you can't speak to enough. He does so much for this team, and they're going to need to see him in this prestige tonight.
And he's not playing like a freshman. He made all MAAC second team as a freshman. We talked about Kennedy from Merrimack, who won Player of the Year. Benjamin has really been the glue to this team, especially considering Peyton Smith hasn't played all year. And we were expecting some things from Isaac Munkadi, but Benjamin has really set the tone from day one. His rebounding and defense has been consistent. You mentioned 44 blocks. That's unprecedented from a freshman, but he's also shooting at a remarkable clip of 57%, which, is not freshman-like numbers. And in order for Fairfield to make some noise in this Atlantic City MAAC championship, he's going to need to play like the Benjamin we saw throughout MAAC play. I don't know if he is still 100% after he suffered that injury against Quinnipiac. He tried to play Sunday in that game against Mount St. Mary's, but he's not. He didn't look 100%, so it'll be interesting to see. That'll be one of the big points tonight looking at this game.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at the starting lineups tonight for this matchup. Starting with the Jaspers, we have guard Devin Dinkins, guard Terrence Jones, guard Jaden Winston, the forward Marco Lubicic, and then forward Frazier Roxborough. Who we got for the Stags, Andrew?
And for the Stags, we have our usual five of Brandon Sparks and Tony Williams, Halen Rollins, Declan Wooker-Fennig, and Brendan Benjamin. Some other eye-popping stats from these games. In that first game against Manhattan, Declan Wooker-Fennig had 19 rebounds. Yes, 19. He was also a unanimous All-MAAC rookie team selection. Well-deserved there, a stellar freshman campaign from the freshman out of Bergen Catholic. And then also, for the Stags, the real X factor, I think, is Tony Williams. We've seen him. Fairfield's one of the few teams in the country, maybe the most. They've used the four freshmen for a majority of the MAAC play in their starting lineup when all of them have been healthy. And it really has given this team a fresh jolt of energy. And, it feels like when Tony Williams is clicking with his passing and, his three-point ability, the Stags can make some noise here.
Yeah, and you speak to Tony Williams clicking. Like when a guy like Tony Williams is clicking, it's going to create a lot of space, right? There have been nights where the Stags team can go on lulls, right? 3 or 4 minutes, not many field goals, and it limits the space they have. Benjamin gets targeted in the middle. Wooker-Fennig, the openings, they lessen. But if a guy like Williams can get his shot going, a guy like Deuce Turner, it's going to create the space they need.
I think Deuce Turner wants to have a good game more than anything. We talked about how good he played that second game. The first game, he was just 2 of 11, 1 of 8 from 3 more specifically. He was a preseason All-MAAC third selection team, as we mentioned from the top. He did start the first 2 games before then that stretch of non-conference games, but he's had a roller coaster of a season, but great players play the best when it matters most, and now in a win-in-advance format like the MAAC Championship, look for him to have a big impact tonight.
Yeah, Deuce Turner, he's been there, done that. He's got tons of experience, something that I'm sure is really helpful to the locker room of his team, telling the younger guys, how to mentally prepare for a game like this, and like you said, do or die. So everything will be on the line tonight in just a few minutes as we get ready to tip off here. We'll be back in just a few. Don't go anywhere here on WVOF. We are back here in Jim Whelan Boardwalk Hall. Minutes from the tip. Stags getting ready to roll here. They got the white and red tonight. Manhattan will be in the green and black. Getting ready to roll. Looks like Lubicic will be set to take the tip.
Yeah, winner of this game, as a reminder, plays the number 2 seed, St. Peter's Peacocks. For reference, Fairfield played the Peacocks twice, lost both matchups. Fairfield went 7-1 actually in matches against the opponent for a second time. So when the second time they played an opponent, they went 7-1. St. Peter's was that only loss. So could be a third-time opportunity here. We saw earlier, Sacred Heart did beat Iona to advance to the quarterfinal round. Hopefully have another good one here.
Let's make it a good one. Benjamin set to take the tip against Lubicic. And the round 1 matchup is underway. Fairfield wins the tip. And Tony Williams will kick things off.
Cam Estevez is inactive tonight once again. So that's a key bench piece. Expect Ryan Zan.
Braden Sparks, top of the key over to Booker Fenig. Inside the post, Benjamin fighting on Lubicic. Puts it up and in off the glass.
That's
good start.
vintage Brendan Benjamin right there. You know, Manhattan is one of the weaker rebound teams, and they do have a size advantage. Good job by Benjamin taking advantage of that early.
Good start for the Stags. And now talking about a guy they got to limit. There's Jaden Winston. Drops it off Lubicic. Inside, finds Roxborough. Spins, puts it up and in with the left.
And Manhattan answers right back. Nice find there by Lubicic.
Pushing the pace. Here's Sparks. He's doubled. Puts the pressure off. Back to Williams. Inside pass tipped. Booker Fenig corrals it. Steps in the paint. Kicks it in the corner. Wide open triple. Bounces out. Won't go.
That's a good look there. Good board by Booker Fenig.
The putback is no good. Booker Fenig, another chance. Won't go. And we get a foul called on the third putback there. That was a great second chance effort right there.
Rebounding battle paying dividends for Fairfield here early. In that second game, Fairfield on rebound Manhattan 38-22. In the first one, even they lost 43-27. Booker Fenig ravaged 8 rebounds a game as a freshman.
Booker Fenig too strong on the first.
Yeah, Booker Fenig, great freshman campaign. We talk about Benjamin a lot. Booker Fenig deserves just as much love. 12 points per game, 8 rebounds. On the year, though, just a 66% free throw shooter.
You know, and the Stags have struggled with, free point shooting throughout the year. I mean, it's not how you want to lose a game. And certainly, I'm sure it was emphasized as Booker Fenig puts in the second of 2. And they'll make it 3-2 Stags. Look to get a stop here. Jones swings it up top. Over to Roxborough, defended by Booker Fenig. Push it around, stuck outside the arc, back to Lubicic. He'll try a 3. Won't go. Nice defense there. Nice closeout by Benjamin.
Yeah, good box set there. You want to limit those open 3s, so if you can, as much as possible.
Williams driving in, kicking it to Benjamin. Got the size advantage inside Booker Fenig. He's got 4 green Jaspers around him. And can't get free. It's going to be a turnover there on the Stags.
Yeah, Manhattan's a very pesky team. Jane Winston, that first game against Manhattan, 6 steals. Fairfield, one of the better teams in MAAC and not turning over the ball, but good trap there by Manhattan.
And this is what we talked about at the start of the game, right? You got to have that, respect to create the space, and right now they're not giving that, and they're forcing it down in the paint. Look to see, hopefully, a 3-pointer from the Stags soon here. On the other end, Manhattan. Jones kicks in the corner. Dinkins. Hounded by Williams. Kicks it into the corner. Pump fake Jones. Drives. Pulls up. Long 2-pointer. Good.
Tough shot there. Good defense. Just got enough separation there was Terrence Jones.
Williams tosses it up in transition. The 3-pointer won't go. And that one out of bounds.
Yeah, Fairfield's playing quick offense here so far. I've had a couple looks from 3. Just haven't been able to knock them down yet. Now 0 of 2 from 3.
Keeping that full court pressure right here. Tony Williams staying right with his man all the way up the floor. Winston gives him a push, kicks it out. Lubicic. Back. Doubled, tipped, and stolen. Booker Fenig
Nice tip
gets
there
the
by
tip
Williams.
From Williams. Sparks creates some contact, draws the foul there.
Manhattan foul number 21, Marco.
Yeah, it's important for Fairfield. That's Manhattan's second foul, I believe, already. Fairfield, we talk about how good of a free throw shooting to Manhattan is. You got to limit, not give Manhattan any more chances than they already need.
Yep. Good start, just about 3 minutes in here. 4-3 Manhattan leads Fairfield basketball here in round 1 of these MAAC tournament playoffs. Williams looking for that inside pass. Wickerfenig takes a step back, kicks himself into the paint, spins, kicks it back out. Williams, he'll try the long three-pointer, and he connects. Tony Williams.
He's a confident shooter, although he may not be consistent at times. He's never afraid to shoot a shot, and I love that attitude.
Stags back out in front. Jaden Winston on the wing, going right at Williams. Spins to his right, kicks it out. Lubicic for 3, can't answer.
Nice board by Wickerfenig.
Sparks pushing the pace. Now he'll relax it. Takes the screen to his right from Benjamin. Kicks it inside. Benjamin lost it. Can't get it. Wickerfenig finds it. And they'll reset the offense.
Coach Gallagher
Sparks, a 3 won't go. Winston stolen by Williams there. Sloppy bounce pass.
Yeah, it just looked like a ball got away from Winston there.
Sparks tries the 3. Can't catch rim.
Looked like he rushed that one. Manhattan's making sure he hears it.
Mm-hmm.
One of the better three-point shooters, though. Third in the MAAC with a 40% clip from beyond the arc. So certainly very lethal from beyond the arc when he's open.
Anthony Isaac will step into the matchup for the Jaspers. Strong job this season at getting assists and rebounds, so we'll see the impact he has here, replacing Lubicic. Dinkins to bring it up now. Sparks will draw the assignment. Bounce pass in. Jones wants the screen to his left, lost it. Wickerfenig picks it up in front to Sparks. Sparks can't finish, but it's going to stay at Fairfield basketball.
Some uncharacteristic plays from Sparks here early. An air ball 3 and a missed layup that he's going to want back. Certainly maybe a little bit jitters early here, nervous in this early going. But
that'll send us to the first timeout of the game. Fairfield up 6-4, 4.5 in. We'll be right back after this timeout. Welcome back in here from the first timeout. Stags off to a 6-4 lead. Strong start on crashing the boards. What's been working for them, Andrew?
you know, they're just taking advantage of their size. You know, Wickerfenig, Brendan Benjamin, 3 offensive rebounds here early, and one of those resulted in Wickerfenig going to the line, and 2 fouls early from Manhattan, which is a positive sign. Fairfield is 0. You know, we talked about at the top how Manhattan is the leader in the conference in free throw percentage, and Fairfield has struggled at times in the free throw department, especially coming off last game where they were just out-physicaled and outplayed in every aspect against Mount St. Mary's at home with a spot to clinch a bye. It's an encouraging start for Fairfield in terms of physicality and effort.
Absolutely. Something you just got to keep up, keep driving to the basket. It'll be Fairfield ball underneath the hoop here, 20 seconds on the clock. And the inbound is in. Williams has it. He'll swing it, top of the key. Cross to Sparks. Sparks trying to get something going himself. On the wing. To his left, spins, back out Williams. Can he get another? Yes, he can. Tony Williams.
Shooter, shoot. If he's hot, keep feeding him the ball. And, you know, it's been a slow 3-point game so far for both teams, but Williams is both of them.
So a quick 6 for Williams, and now on the defensive end, he'll guard Winston, who swings it across. Dinkins has the matchup here. He's got some speed on Walker Fennig, creates some separation. Back out to Jones. Steps through and doesn't get the roll, but draws a foul on the way up.
Nice cut there by Terrence Jones on Halen Rollins. Was a little bit slow to get back there, just got there too late and got a hand in there.
Rollins, that's his first personal. Team's first on the head.
So first free throws of the day for the Jaspers. Terrence Jones
Number 22, Terrence
looking
Jones.
to get 4 points on the day here. Gets the roll on the first.
Yeah, and we talked about Manhattan, the best free throw shooting team in MAAC. Terrence Jones is the best free throw shooter on this team at a 92% clip in the second leading scorer. So certainly one of the last guys, maybe the last guy you want at the line.
Makes both, stays true to the percentages there. So 9-6 as Williams will bring it up. Pushing on the baseline, back up now. Walker Fennig trying to beat that press. Rollins long two-pointer, good.
Yeah, good for there to Rollins. That's more of his element, the physicality and a little bit of that mid-range game. Had 2 missed threes early. Good to see him be more aggressive and take an open paint shot.
Starting to hear some noise here from the Fairfield faithful. A big stop now. They got it on the corner. Looking for some help. Nice defense here by Rollins. Staying right with Jones. Jones up. Can't finish. Battle for the board underneath. Comes out with the Jaspers. They'll get another chance at it.
We talked about Anthony Isaac. There he was once again.
Ball poked free, but it'll stay Manhattan's. Side out. Jaden Winston. We'll find Dinkins in the backcourt. Dinkins takes the screen to his left, pushes into the paint, kicks it to the corner. Jones fakes the three, steps baseline, reverse layup, gets it to roll in.
Yeah, got by 3 Stags defenders there. Just the quickness of Jones here, who's got a quick 4.
So here's this press again. 2-on-2 in the backcourt. Williams just barely beats it by getting it up to Sparks.
Yeah, but that's the pesky nature that is Manhattan's defense.
Williams, 2 of 2 from beyond the arc tonight. Do we see another? He's on the wing. Dinkins guarding, takes a screen to his right, kicks it out. Sparks can't connect. Slow start for Sparks as Walker Fennig, another offensive rebound.
Looked like that was Rollins in that one, but good board by Walker Fennig.
The putback is no good, and a strong rebound by Roxborough.
Nothing's easy, nothing in the paint's coming easy for Fairfield right now. Just 2 3-pointers, and then the Benjamin field goal early.
Jaden Winston now. Looking to tie things up for the Jaspers. Swings it. Isaac on the wing. Back up to Dinkins. 1-on-1 with Williams. Drives. Between the legs. Crosses. Fakes. Steps through. Out to Roxborough.
Yeah, it looks like Fairfield wanted to travel.
Got to get it up. No good. Poked away. Isaac got hand on it. Offensive rebound. And a tough three-pointer from Dinkins. Won't go.
Would have been a massive swing there for Manhattan. It looks like Benjamin bobbled it twice.
Sparks, pull-up transition, 3, gets it to go, and he's finally on the board.
Yeah, he needed that one after the first air ball there. He could show he's one of the better 3-point shooters in this conference. Did so right there. Looks like his confidence is back after that reaction, too.
Winston yet to let one fly tonight for the Jaspers. Just about 8 minutes in here. Takes a tumble, gets a bit of space. Back up top, Isaac. He's going to look for some separation. He'll drop it off to Dinkins. 10 to shoot. Back to Isaac. Guarded by Benjamin. Puts out the reverse, rejected by Benjamin.
There's Brendan Benjamin. That's 45 blocks now on the year.
Tony Williams can't keep his hot hand going.
Yeah, it looks like he rushed that one. I think he was going off adrenaline there.
Yeah, you can see him hit the my bad sign right there. Stags have put up a couple questionable shots here, quick into the shot clock. As Winston drives right by Williams. Can't finish, but draws the foul.
Yeah, and that's going to be the second on Halen Rollins. Looks like Deuce Turner and Eric Mahee are going to check in to the game. But, yeah, Manhattan's done a good job at being aggressive. You know, Fairfield, as much as we talk about their paint presence and dominance this season, Manhattan's meeting them at where they are so far.
A strong drive by Winston right there. Was talking about him, you know, as they were coming up the court. Hadn't had a single field goal attempt. It was only a matter of time before this team's, you know, leading scorer gets going. As he does miss the first there, that's short.
Yeah, and Winston, as much as he is leading the offense, he also has been great. Was an all-defensive team selection this year and did lead the MAAC with 2.6 steals per game.
They'll look to salvage this trip to the line here. with 1 of 2. He gets it to go, so 14-9. About 8 minutes here in the first half. Fairfield in the lead. Eric Mejia bringing it up, swings it across. Playing catch here. Deuce Turner back again inside. Hooker Fenig pops the 2, rattles around, no good. And Benjamin had it and had it poked free.
Now that's a great poke by Anthony Isaac there. He was a 6-man for Will Sidner, who hasn't played all year, but has been very good in that role.
Bounce pass into the corner. Roxborough. He'll bring it back to the wing. Now inside Isaac. Benjamin glued to him. Pocket pass inside, stripped and out of bounds. Nice hands by the Stags.
Nice poke by Eric Mejia there. You know, Fairfield, as much as Manhattan loves to double team, Fairfield's going to want to meet that double team and try and get more possessions and pad this lead early.
11:35 to go here in the first half. Fairfield is up 14-9. We're heading to a timeout. We'll be right back. Welcome back here into the Jim Whelan Boardwalk Hall. The Stags off to a 14-9 start here. They've done a good job at stalling that Manhattan offense. What's working for them?
Yeah, no, they're taking away Manhattan's three-point shot. 0 of 3 so far, but also there's no easy shots in the paint, really. You know, those 2, Jones is 6, but 2 of those were tough buckets there. And then the other 2, of course, from the free throw line from Jones there. But they're not making anything easy. You know, they're using their rebounding edge and physicality so far to their advantage. We talked about that being a point of emphasis off the loss at home against Mount St. Mary's. They have responded in a nice way here so far against a Manhattan team who hasn't seen MAAC Rookie of the Year last year, Will Sidner, all year. He averaged 14 and 8. Last year as a freshman was the MAAC Rookie of the Year. A preseason All-MAAC first team selection. That's definitely been a big loss, though. Manhattan still trying to figure its way, still trying to find his true replacement in a sense.
You know, not an easy guy to replace. Isaac doing his best to kind of fill that, you know, role there, the big man down low, as it'll be a quick inbound. Dinkins to put it up. Isaac got a hand, can't hold, and that's going to go Fairfield's way.
That's a really nice inbound play there, though, by Manhattan. But if you look at it from the other side of it, Fairfield's kind of got to be a little bit more tighter on defense. You know, as much as you want to limit your own turnovers, you want to force turnovers also and capitalize off points off turnovers.
Absolutely. Eric Mejia will bring it up for the Stags. See if one of the guys off the bench here can get hot. Mejia steps through the defense. He's got 4 Jaspers around him. Not a problem. Puts it in.
Yeah, Mejia showed signs of life as his season has progressed. At 16 in that game against Quinnipiac. Could be an underrated presence and value for Stags tonight.
Winston to bring it up. Kicks it up to Jones. Roxbury's got some space. The reverse lay is good.
Yeah, and it looked like Benjamin wanted to swat that one, but wanted to avoid the foul more importantly.
Yeah, you know, that's a smart play, a mature play from the freshman. Long three-point try for the Stags won't go. And going to be a foul there going for the rebound on Sparks.
Don't know if that's a foul. I think it might have just went for an aggressive poke check, but did not work in his favor. Nonetheless, Manhattan ball.
Yeah, and you'll take that right there. You know, maybe some exaggerated, you know, fall there from Jones, but you'll take that if you're the Stags. The floater hits back iron and out. Rooker Fennig, they're going to push the pace. It's 2-on-2. Turner stops, kicks it across the court. Mejia fakes left, goes right, and the reverse hits the rim there and straight down.
Yeah, Isaac got a piece of that. He's very patient. Roxburgh with the initial pressure, Isaac with the block.
Coast to coast, no good. Both teams pushing pace. Wicker Fennig, time and space, puts it down, throws it in.
Looks like a track meet right now out there going, backing up the court immediately, but Fairfield was able to connect. Timeout Manhattan.
18-11, the Stags. I mean, can't be mad about how we're playing here, right? That last little possession right there with that that stand-up block. I'm happy, but I'm looking for more contributions out of the bench.
Yeah, no, we talked about that depth presence. Manhattan has those 4 guys who average double figures. Fairfield, they do have a big 3, but then their other guys have been maybe inconsistent or still trying to break through a little bit. In these types of March games and environments, it's a collective team effort. There are going to be plenty of fouls. There are going to be plenty of times people are going to need a breather. It's a next man up mentality, and that mentality is only heightened and more important come March. And we have seen Deuce Turner, Eric Mejia off the bench. I'm expecting maybe a Ryan Zand sooner and Isaac Mankadi to check in for Benjamin, who we still don't know for sure if he's 100% or not.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ryan Zand is someone who we've seen get more minutes as the season's progressed, and he's done a solid job of utilizing those minutes, right? Not trying to do too much with it, but also make that impact. And, I think Coach Casey has seen that, and he's respected it, and it's more than likely we'll see him get into this contest here.
Absolutely.
As we're back in action, Manhattan ball as we cross the halfway point of the first half. 18-11 is your score, Stags leading. Here's Roxburgh working his way into the paints. Spins up with the left, and a nice floater is in.
Yeah, Roxburgh had the size mismatch there. Missed a lot of time due to injury last year, but has been a good presence for Manhattan this year, and it showed right there.
Deuce Turner up top to Sparks. Back to Turner. Fakes the 3, puts up the long 2, and a second chance effort by Brandon Benjamin is good.
That's Isaac McCarty. No, you're all good, but yeah, he's been seamless transition, with Benjamin out. He's also one of another X factor. We talk about that bench production. He's at the heart of it.
And on defensive end, he can't get there. They're both rocking the headband tonight.
Yes, they are.
McCarty and Benjamin both going with the headbands tonight. Love to see it.
Another tough layup there for Manhattan.
So just like that, now it's quickly a 5-point game. 2015. Sparks is doubled, and he's fouled outside the 3-point arc there.
Yeah, Winston a little bit too much on him there. Dinkins going to check in, but Winston's coming up, so this might be a big opportunity for the Stags to, ramp it up offensively and dial the button there.
Stags ball side out here. Be Wicker Fennig to inbound. Mejia bringing it up. Over to Sparks. Pass inside. Mankati passes back out for the 3-point try. Won't go for Mejia.
It's a good shot there. Mejia, those maybe settle down on that one a little bit. Had other options.
Stags are certainly trigger happy tonight. It's the 11th 3-point try, just 3 of 11.
Almost as many shots Manhattan has total.
Terrence Jones inside pass Roxburgh. He's doubled. He'll spin out on the right wing. Back down low on the baseline. Kicks inside to a cutter. Can't get it to go. But a nice look right there to Oliver.
Gallagher wants a foul on Mankati there. I can't say I blame him.
Top of the key, Wicker Fennig swings to Mejia. Now over to Turner. Screen to his right from Wicker Fennig. Drives into the paint. Spins to his left. Puts it up and rattles it. No good. Second chance effort, Mankati, no good. It'll be Jasper's basketball.
Yeah, refs for letting them play. A little bit aggressively. I think you missed one there on Mankati on the other end, but it looked like a foul there, certainly, on Mankati as he was going for the offensive board.
It'll be Dinkins to bring it up. This Manhattan team looking to get this game to a tie. Stags have been out in front for the large majority here in the first half, but haven't really been able to pull away. Dinkins, top of the key, draws 2 and throws it away. I'm not sure where the miscommunication was there. You can actually see him visually pointing there. He wanted him
like
to cut.
Lubicic was maybe thinking more of an outer presence, but Dinkins passed in. Just an unfortunate miscommunication there. Every turnover is costly, but in a tournament single elimination, it almost feels like a double turnover.
Yeah, these games, you don't want the scales to go against you and then just run away from you. We've seen it from this Fairfield team. They did a good job earlier, in the first half here of forcing Manhattan to go on some lulls, and it's in those lulls that you can just kind of, pick apart their defense and you start to get more comfortable. But Unfortunately, now they're on the the opposite side of that. Haven't scored in a few here. Nobody really seems to have the hot hand.
Yeah, but it also just goes to show how important it is for Fairfield to jump out to an early lead. A lot of these games they've won convincingly has because they've got off to a hot start from the court, and they haven't slowed down. They don't let their opponent get back into the game. We look at that second meeting with Manhattan. They started scorching. They ended up shooting 57% from the game. Manhattan really never got within 20. It almost feels like there's that type of game. And, Manhattan, 5 is no safe number by any means necessary. No lead is safe in the MAAC, but 5's almost like guaranteed, I feel like, maybe to an extent, to be met at some point.
Yeah, basketball is such a momentum-heavy game, and, we mentioned earlier how the shot, drastically different. I mean, we're looking at 16 attempts from Manhattan, 24 from the Stags. So for it to only be that 5-point gap, that's something of a concern. I think the Stags got to start taking some higher percentage shots. They've been settling, a bit here, trying to keep the hot hands going, but would like to see more paint touches here going forward.
They absolutely have been 3 happy, and you live and die by the 3 at times. We talk about it time and time again with the women's basketball team, but if it's not working, you got to adapt, and this is going to be a pivotal chess match between Coach Galler and Coach Casey to see who can make the better adjustments as this game progresses, because it's looking honestly like a little bit of a grit and grind game. Both offenses, they've struggled to find consistency so far, and who can maybe make the next move that can give them the edge. There's been no real run as of right now. Runs don't equal runs necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, looking at Manhattan's side, the one thing that, you get a little nervous about is that three-pointer. Just 3 attempts, 0 of 3, but once they see one in, it's going to start to create some space, some separation, and some confidence in their shooters.
Yeah, and both teams are fairly even. The 3-point shooting team, Fairfield, 33.6% clip. Manhattan, 32.7% clip. So it is fairly even, but both teams struggling from beyond the arc so far, as you mentioned.
Stags back on the floor with Wooker, Fenig, Sparks, Mancotti, Mejia, and Turner. And the Jaspers will return with the same 5. It looks to be Oliver, Dinkins, Jones, Lubicic, and Roxborough. Fairfield basketball as we return here. 8 minutes to play in the first half. Braden Sparks, guarded by Oliver, kicks it out. Deuce Turner. Plenty of space here. They'll step in, attacks the basket, and the soft touch, too strong there, actually. Put it off the glass, can't get it to go.
Another offensive board there, though.
Yeah, we've seen it time and time again. That's the 8th from the Stags tonight. Great job.
Third from Mancotti, more specifically. We talk about these Brendan Benjamin-less minutes. Mancotti has been a great presence, filling in for Benjamin in these roles. Again, has elevated his level of play, especially, we don't even talk about Payne Smith because he hasn't even played all year.
Yeah, they're doing a good job at filling that role. Mancotti, obviously, just the few minutes he's getting so far has made a huge impact. So he'll head to the line here. Obviously not the strongest, free throw shooter, but these are ones his team needs.
51.2% free throw shooter.
Looks like they were taking a quick look at the foul there. It is confirmed. Mancotti will settle in here for the first 2. Puts it in.
Good composure there from the big man. I mentioned, I don't know if you ever heard it, 51.2% free throw shooter. So definitely important ones here. Fairfield looking for their largest lead of the game with 7 here.
Mancotti can't get the second to go, so it'll stay at 6 as Winston subs back in. He'll bring it up. Drops it off for Dinkins. Swings across. Rocks with a drop off. Keeping it around the arc here, and an offensive offensive foul there. Nice play right there by Sparks, putting the body on the line, drawing the foul. That's the 4th.
A little bit of a mental lapse it looked like there by Oliver Bush. Just maybe being a little bit too aggressive running through his opponent. The referee's got to call that one 10 times out of 10.
So, yeah, that is now the 5th foul after the updates. So, something that they're going to be looking at. Stags getting aggressive now. The fake, the kick back to Sparks, top of the wing. Now back to Mejia. He'll step in. Nice bounce pass inside. Mancotti spins to his right. Gets the defender in the air. That gets called for the travel.
Yeah, and emphatic Coach Galler loves that. Definitely saw that one. from a mile away. McCarty's still working on his offensive footwork a little bit, trying to get some confidence offensively.
So 7 minutes to play now. Fairfield up 21-15. Neither team really found the momentum here early. We'll see if someone's able to get it going in the back half here of half number 1. Roxborough down low. Nice soft touch there on the fade. Puts it in.
And it's a 2.5-minute scoring drought for Manhattan. Fairfield, all of their last 4, so trying to bounce back here.
Mejia pushing tempo behind the back. Kicks out. Deuce Turner steps into the paint. Kicks it across. Wicker Fennig on the right wing. He's doubled. Pressured. Dinkins gets the steal. Nice hands.
Great double team there. I don't think Wicker Fennig ever saw Dinkins.
See if the Jaspers can do something with that turnover. A step back. Winston kicks out. Roxborough.
They're going to get foul on the floor here. I believe that's going to be on Mancati.
Fairfield foul 15, Isaac McCarty.
It will be Mancati. That'll send him to the bench. That'll bring back in Benjamin alongside Ryan Zan.
And number 20, Brandon Benjamin.
Underneath the basket, Winston will inbound. We'll find Roxborough. Drop off to Dinkins. Down low, he's got the body on Sparks here. He'll spin, working on that wing. Kicks it back out, Dinkins. 9 to shoot. Jab step, gets the defender to jump, steps through, puts it up, and no good. But the second chance almost taken back there.
Yeah, Zan initially jumped there, but did a good job hustling back to get not an easy shot there for Dinkins there.
Sparks on the other end, kicks it. In the corner, the fake 3. The step through with the left-hand finish, no good. Mejia looking for a foul, won't get it. On the other end, a track race puts it in. Jaden Winston doing it himself.
That's that elite speed there from Winston. Creates so much of his offense from driving to the paint.
Braden Sparks can't answer on the transition 3. He's tried that multiple times today.
Yeah, Manhattan crowd's getting into it. Those that have showed up here from Dratty Stadium.
Winston here, and the Jaspers a chance to tie, down by 2, or take the lead as Lubicic. Miscommunication, couldn't see Winston driving there.
Yeah, that's the second play that Lubicic has been involved in. This one on the passing end. That there's been a miscommunication there. The first one with Dinkins, this one with Winston. So Manhattan still trying to get together some fundamentals a little bit, but Fairfield's keeping them in this with their inconsistency from offense.
Tony Williams back in the contest. 5 minutes to play, and it's turnovers like that Stag's got to take advantage of right here, right now. Zan swings to Williams, back to Zan. Over to Turner, long 3-pointer, no good. Zan coming in for that offensive rebound, no luck.
I don't love that shot there by Turner. You know, we talk about them being 3 happy. You know, it hasn't worked. They're 1 of their last 9 and 0 of their last 7 overall. You know, Manhattan's cut this lead to 2. You just need to get points. They're not coming easy right now.
Williams back here on the press on Winston, trying to limit that speed, that acceleration here that he had. That gets him those strong buckets to the paint. On the wing, takes the screen to switch on to Zan. Now bounce pass inside Roxborough. Working on the smaller Williams, he's doubled. Kicks it out to Dinkins for the lead. No good. Strong rebound by Williams.
Yeah, but he was wide open there, though.
Williams, the fake. The pass inside. Benjamin corrals. 2 on him. Steps through. Got 2 in the air. And can't finish the and 1.
Yeah, it looks like everyone who's not a Fairfield fan in this building wanted to travel there on Benjamin, but Stags maybe catch a break there and draw Manhattan's 6th foul.
I do like the patience by Benjamin. You got 2 defenders on you. Since the ball touches your hand, you're able to be patient, step through, get them both in the air, and create contact.
And, you know, for a Fairfield offense that is struggling from the court right now, no scoring in the last almost 3.5 minutes, you know, any points are welcome right now here.
These are the points you kick yourself over if you can't get them. And Benjamin might be doing that as he misses the first.
Yeah, and Benjamin, what we talked about, is a great field goal percentage, a 56.7% clip, just a 67.4% free throw shooter, so definitely room for improvement in that area for his game.
The second free throw is good. That'll push the lead back up to 3.
Yeah, but Fairfield can't keep going 1 of 2 from the line. It's keeping Manhattan in this game squarely.
Jaden Winston to bring it up. 4 minutes to go here in half number 1. Both teams looking to end this on a strong run. Winston, top of the key. Pushing by Williams, spinning to his left, puts up a tough jumper. rattles around into the hands of Benjamin.
Had space there, just couldn't get the roll.
Sparks bringing it up. Wide open. Oh, wow. Benjamin was right there inside. Couldn't find him. They'll get a second chance to him.
He's got the size.
He's got the time. He'll kick it out to Williams. Williams swings to Zan. Back to Turner. 10 to shoot. Passes inside Benjamin. He likes what he sees. He spins. He shoots. And he just missed that one right there off the glass.
That's a good play there by Turner, though. You know, realizing passing up a good shot for a better shot there, not falling for the 3 trap.
Terrence Jones, step back 3. It's the first of the night for the Jaspers as they tie this one at 22.
Yeah, first time Manhattan's at a leader, tied the game since that 4-3 mark early, Kyle.
Tie game, 22-22. Williams into the paint, kicks it out. Zan tries a triple, can't answer.
That was not a good shot there by Zan. Fairfield now 3 of 14 from 3.
Jane Winston drops it up top. Terrence Jones looking for some help in Dinkins.
Looks like Winston's in a little bit of a pain here. He's favoring his left wrist. Something to keep an eye on here.
Jones trying to do it himself. Can't get another to go. It's a big miss. And a rebound by Deuce Turner. He'll push the pace. Trying to go coast to coast. Behind the back. Right to left. Off the glass and in.
Tough finish there by Deuce Turner. Good to see him go to the paint. If the 3's not working, go to the paint. Try to get points elsewhere.
That just broke a 6 minute 50-second drought for the Stags on offense. Just desperately needed there.
Yep.
Now we need to stop. Isaac kicks it out. Dinkins on the baseline driving. Swings. Jones up top. Roxba, his triple. Rolls out. But a second chance by Isaac. Kicks it out. Jones gets a defender to jump. Drives and finishes. And one, Terrence Jones.
And now Sparks is down. He took a shot there. Fairfield wanted a charging call there, but did not get one. Sparks shaken up after that play. Hope he's okay.
That's his first personal.
So with 2 minutes on the clock, both teams will head back to their benches with a tie game and definitely feeling the batter here of this physical contest.
Oh, absolutely. Sparks just took probably the biggest hit this game yet so far. And, you know, Manhattan's heard that Fairfield leads the league in rebounding. You know, they're bringing it to the Stags and then some, especially on that last play.
So yeah, I mean, with 2 minutes left in this first half, right, you know, you're coming out of this and you're just looking to take, again, smart shots. We said it in the last timeout, and they haven't been, you know, really going for it. It's not, you know, these aren't open shots that they're missing. You know, these are bad shots or, you know, forced shots that, you know, we don't want to see them settle for. It's why they're one of their last 10. It's why they haven't really ever felt confident in themselves. You know, they were in the lead early in this one because of that offensive rebounding, strong defense, and of course limiting the 3s. But now that that's starting to fade, we've seen the lead do just that.
And it's a combination of Fairfield getting 3 happy, but also, you know, not picking up on the open man. And, you know, we saw in that Terrence Jones last 3 there, you know, Manhattan's turning defense into quick offense. They're finding the open man, passing up a good shot for a better shot.
So assuming both you know, Winston and Sparks are okay here, we'll see them come back onto the floor for the final 2, and both are such pivotal players for both teams.
Those are the all-MAAC players right there. You know, Winston I wanted to mention in particular. He was favoring that left hand. That last 3 where Jones missed the 3-pointer, he was predominantly in the corner there favoring his left wrist. As soon as he passed the ball, he was favoring that left wrist. So I feel like it's 2 minutes left in the first half. You wouldn't want to chance anything, so I wouldn't be surprised if he sits out the rest of this first half, and I expect Sparks to be out as well. I think he will be also. I think he just needs a breather after getting the wind knocked out of him necessarily.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it makes sense. Both, you know, Sparks and Winston respectively with 3 points each. Winston 1 of 4, Sparks 1 of 5. So neither really found their rhythm. But the one guy tonight really that has been in rhythm, Terrence Jones, 13 points, 5 of 8, and he's about to get back in here and try to finish this 3-point playoff.
Yeah, you can see Winston is in the game, but he's shaking that wrist. Something to monitor here.
So Terrence Jones taking his time heading back to the line.
How about his performance so far, though? 13 points, looking to make it 14. It's really put this offense on his back.
Terrence Jones and, you know, Frazier Roxborough 4, 5, 8 points. It's the consistency. It's the guys who've been taking the high percentage shots. doing a good job of helping their team as Manhattan jumps out in front. So 25-24, 2 minutes to play.
They've got 22 of the 25 points, Kyle. That's just unheard of, but they're winning this game.
Stags looking to get something going here. Deuce Turner on the wing. To his right inside. Benjamin takes the space. Pumps left, goes right, and gets the roll. Nice move.
Yeah, lucky roll there for Benjamin, who fell to the ground there, but nice roll. Got enough of that on there to get it in.
Per run, Elliott getting the first minutes of the night here for the Jaspers. He'll bring it up and find Dinkins. Roxborough top of the key, inside Isaac. Now Roxborough on the wing. Benjamin glued tight. Up top. Elliott to his left. Into the paint on the wing. Can't get the layup to go.
Nice defense there by Wooker Fettig, not being over-aggressive and jumping early.
Tony Williams resetting there. You see Brandon Benjamin jumping there, both feet, looking for that quick pass inside. Though a lot to just reset it here. Calm it down. Deuce Turner.
Both coaches very animated so far this game and active.
No surprise there. Benjamin posting up. The double team needs some help. Swings it out. Mejia, his three-point try. Butter.
I don't know if that pass was luck or skill, but it was a perfect rainbow pass. You talk about those rainbow passes are risky. It worked in the Stags' favor there.
Stags back out in front. Needed that one. 30 seconds. Jaden Winston. Clock separated by 11 seconds here. Winston cuts to his right. Puts up a wild circus shot. Draws the foul.
Yeah, Tony Williams there saying my bad on that one. Maybe a little bit of not the smartest foul there, but that's Winston's MO. Going straight to the paint, being aggressive, drawing the contact, going to the line.
Yep, it's exactly what they do. They got no fear. I mean, he's obviously battling that wrist, but that doesn't really change the mindset. Right back to work, and he'll be at the line for two.
I am curious to see how it could potentially impact his free throw shooting. Is an 82% shooter on the year.
Sticks the first.
Entering for the at number 5, Eric Bush, replacing number 10, Herwan Elliott.
So Fairfield won't have a shot clock when they come back in, so all likely they'll hold it for the last shot.
And both are good for Winston, so that'll make it 3-point game.
Casey wants a timeout?
Yep, Casey wants to talk things over here on this last possession of the first half.
Don't blame him. You need to maintain or keep momentum going heading into the locker room. And, one turnover can easily lead to Manhattan tying the game or taking a lead. So it's a lot better to be up in the locker room at halftime than down. So don't blame him for that timeout there. Fairfield still is more than they need.
Certainly, yeah, you just got to ensure you head into it with the right headspace, and that's, directly affected by that score on the board. And, 2-point lead, 3-3. Last field goals, they just got to keep that momentum going and get a strong shot off here.
Yeah, and they have time here, though. They can't rush you. You need quality over quantity.
Yeah, Stags just 4 of 15 here from beyond the arc. Not sure if that's what they're going to look for here, set this up for a three-point play or try to just get contact inside. They do have 6 fouls for Manhattan, so might be a bit more lenient on spacing. We'll see as the Stags are set to get one last possession here of the first half and what's been a wonky first half, but both teams still in this one.
Yeah, but Fairfield, 3 of their last 3, so I know we talked about that long drought, but they do have some momentum going in their favor.
And Williams will have it here at the logo. And he'll step back here. He'll take his time, let the offense set itself.
Yeah, Coach Gallagher is saying, don't foul, don't foul.
Benjamin, the screen to his right. Williams goes to his left, up and in off the glass. He puts it in.
Nice finish there again. Good steal.
Deuce Turner at the buzzer. Can't put it in, but great heads-up play by Turner to add on 2 more potentially.
Fairfield 31.
At the half, 31-27, Fairfield leads this one. And what's just been a back and forth completely, it's a tough story to predict between these two teams. It's hard to say how they're going to come out of this halftime, but it's either team's game to take.
Yeah, and we talk about Manhattan. Only 3 guys have scored for them. Jaden Winston with 5, Roxborough with 8, and Terrence Jones with 14. They were the three of those obviously averaged double figures during the regular season. We talk about bench production. Manhattan's got 0 of it, but then if you look at Fairfield, they're still trying to find a solidified score. You know, Tony Williams leads the scoring with 8. Sparks have struggled. Took a big shot there. Hopefully he kind of comes back together and returns to himself in the second half. But Fairfield, whereas they're playing more by committee, it's been a 3-man show for Manhattan.
You know, and Manhattan, the team that we talked about coming into this game as being, you know, really deep, you know, a lot of different scores. So that's going to come out in the second half. You know, I just don't see it being a 3-man show the whole way around. But plenty of stories to unravel as we head into the second half here. You know, what are you looking for from the Stags and from the Jaspers?
I'm looking for the Fairfield, more specifically, to not settle for the 3-point shot. You know, 4 of 15, that's a 27% clip. That's not going to win you games. You know, you need to go to your paint, and what the team has prided themselves on this year, physicality, rebounding, and paint dominance. Feed Benjamin, feed Wooker-Fennig. You know, both of them have 0 fouls. You know, I'm not saying don't get over-aggressive and not play smart, but go to what works, and what has worked all season is they've won 11 of their last 16, largely due to their paint dominance. And, you know, if I'm Manhattan, it's got to be a next man up mentality. Who's going to step up and support Terrence Jones, who has 13, Frazier Roxborough, who has 8. You know, I'm looking at Devin Dinkins in particular. 6th man of the year last year, projected first-team All-MAAC in the preseason, 0 of 4, 0 of 2 from 3, no points. He's got to step up, but Manhattan's fortunate, I think, in a sense, to be only trailing by 4 here, Kyle.
There's a long first half, you know, a half of many different tales. We'll see what the second half has in store for us in just about 15 minutes here. We're heading to half. We'll be right back here on WVOF. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back from halftime. We return here to a 4-point Fairfield lead here. It's been a whirlwind of a first half, right? You know, multiple droughts from both teams. You know, we've seen the Jaspers be a three-man show. We've seen the Stags be offensive, rebound juggernauts. What do we expect in half number 2?
A little bit of a slow grit and grind game, I feel like, Kyle's in store. Both teams are really going to try and get the upper end physically, and, they want to get no easy shots on the defensive end. Both teams are in the top of the conference in scoring, respectively. Fairfield averages is third at 74.9. Manhattan's fourth at 74.5, but nothing's come easy. I'd expect I feel like 65 points could win this game, honestly. It hasn't really been a smooth, high-flying offensive game that, we all love to watch and love to cheer on. But, these kind of grit and grind games really reveal a team's true identity and how willing their will to win.
And it's really won by some, good coaching. This is where the strategic, rotations of guys really comes into play, and you can see, the difference it makes by switching, the defensive assignments or, even the offensive matchups. It all makes a point here.
Yeah, no, you mentioned the coaching matchups. Casey's in his third year, second full season without the interim tag. Manhattan is Gallagher in his third season. Manhattan was a 4 seed last year, if you remember. Had a great year in Gallagher's year after finishing last in the conference, but injuries and roster issues with Sidner and the eligibility have kind of hampered them. Fairfield's have a little bit of bounce back year after an 8-12 year. They just squeaked in the tournament, lost to Sacred Heart in this opening round 1 year ago, but definitely are looking to make it further in this year's tournament.
Looks like we're just about ready to get back into action here for the second half. Stags getting a quick huddle in. You got to come out complacent in this second half, but also hungry, right? And it's that competitive balance that really brews winning teams. It'll be Benjamin, Wooker-Fenig, Sparks, Williams, and Rawlings to come back here in half number 2. It's going to be the Jaspers ball. Winston will take it side out here to get back.
You mentioned complacent. I think that's squarely on Rawlings. 2 early fouls on most of the first half from the bench. Really important for him to get off to a good start.
And we're back. Jaspers ball. Winston to bring it up. Bounce pass inside. Terrence Jones had that hot hand in the first half. Can he keep it going? Too strong on the jumper. Rebound out to Dinkins.
Yeah, those hurt, though, with those dead balls.
Jones kicks it. Corner 3. Way too strong right there.
Too open there, but Lubicic completely airmailed that one.
Braden Sparks. Too short, but draws the foul on the transition 3. That's the 3rd to 4th time he's taken that tonight. I'm surprised that we're opening the half with it. It obviously benefits there. He's able to draw the contact, but you're not going to get that every time.
I don't know if it was much of a benefit as much as it was getting bailed out.
Good take you can get. Braden Sparks, 1st to 3. Puts it in.
Sparks, a second-team All-MAAC honorary, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast. Second in the MAAC in scoring, only behind Kennedy from Merrimack, who was the MAAC Rookie and Player of the Year, averaging 17.6 points per game.
Doesn't get the roll to go on number 2.
Yeah, but it's been a slow game for Sparks so far. Just 1 of 5 from the court, 1 of 4 from 3. Took that massive blocking foul, which was, so hopefully, he can bounce back here in the second half.
So he puts 2 of 3 in.
Better than 1 of 3 or 0 of 3.
And you'll take it, but you want to see better shots than what they started with there. Terrence Jones now. Swings it around the wing, finds its way to Winston. Gets the jump on the defender. Bounce pass to Dinkins. Kicks it corner. Jones goes to his left. Fights for space. Creates the separation, but can't finish.
Yeah, that's good defense there by Rollins. Not being over-aggressive. Maybe a little bit of an elbow there, but didn't get overzealous in return.
On the other end, Benjamin fakes left, goes to his right, and finishes with the scoop layup.
Yeah, and that's Benjamin's bread and butter there. Again by the defender with smooth footwork, again, a tough lay for 2.
So a good start for the Stags here, up 35-27. Jaspers looking to answer. Dinkins the bounce pass inside, Lubicic. Benjamin sticking tight, right on the three-point line with him. They'll reset Dinkins, 8 to shoot. Dinkins kicks out. The drive by Jones. Draws the foul on the way up.
Is that going to be on Rollins?
Rollins.
That will be on Rollins. That's his third. Definitely not ideal. And you see Eric Mejia come into the scorekeeper's table to check in.
To live from Manhattan, shooting 2, number 22,
Rollins
Jones.
on the night so far. Just 2 points, 1 of 4. Hasn't got it going from beyond the arc.
Yeah, but the man at the free throw line certainly has gotten it going all game. It's a big reason why Manhattan's still in this game. 14 points, 5 of 10. 1 of 2 from 3, but a perfect 4 of 4 from the line. You know, it has been a 3-man show, but Jones has been the star tonight so far for Manhattan.
He'll stay perfect, adds 1 more to the resume, and that'll sub in Anthony Isaac for Lubicic.
I really like this sub here by Manhattan. Isaac's a very good two-way player in terms of scoring and defense on the rebounding, and Lubicic hasn't really had any momentum tonight so far.
So it'll be Eric Mejia to bring it up for the Stags. They lead by 6 here, a few minutes into the second half. Braden Sparks top of the key, goes behind the back, creates some separation. They'll swing it across Williams. Quick pass inside to Benjamin. Using that physicality, creating space. Can't put it in off the glass.
Good defense there by Manhattan, giving Benjamin no room but not fouling.
Here's Winston. The drop off. Get it to the hot-handed Jones inside Isaac. Isaac kicks it corner. The pass out to Dinkins. His three-point try won't go. And a strong rebound by Wooker Fennig.
Yeah, Dinkins is not having a good night. 0 of 5 now, 0 of 3 from beyond the arc.
Tony Williams. Up top to Wooker Fennig. Wooker Fennig to the basket. Too strong. Gets his own rebound. Kicks it out to Sparks. Sparks into the paint. Lost it there on the way up.
Yeah, not ideal there. Sparks still trying to find some momentum.
Jaden Winston pulls the trigger on the 3. Won't go. Another rebound for Wooker Fennig.
Wooker Fennig, that's already his 11th rebound of the game. Wow.
Certainly feeling his presence. Braden Sparks kicks it back. The triple. Good. Nice shot right there from Eric Mejia.
Yeah, and he needed that one. Now up to 5 for the Stags. First three-pointer for the Stags in half, and honestly, it feels like an eternity almost.
Yeah, really. I mean, they had that 6-minute, 50-second drought in the later half of the first half there. You know, it really did feel like forever. And, you know, the three-point tries in this one have not been consistent. Love to see that keep rolling. Nice double team by Wooker Fennig on Roxborough. Couldn't get it. Dinkins just 3 to shoot. Looking for help. We'll have to put it up. And that's going to be a shot clock violation against the Jaspers.
Good defense there by Fairfield, smothering Roxborough there in particular. No easy shot there. Manhattan's going to make a substitution. I think I haven't seen this guy first. Number 35, Asir Miguel, who's making his first minutes of the game, the freshman guard from Spain.
Yeah, mixing things up here. The Stags are really finding some rhythm. I mean, the 2-minute drought from, Manhattan has certainly added to that, but see if they can keep it rolling. Benjamin working in the post on Isaac. Just a bit short. Gets his own rebound. Puts it back in.
Yeah, and he needs to get that going, part of his game. Just 5 rebounds so far, but that was certainly one of the most important ones there.
Now it's 40-29. Big lead for the Stags, up by 11. It's exactly how you want to come out of the halftime. Driving baseline. Swatted away. Brandon Benjamin.
Probably the most encouraging possession on offense and defense I've seen from him since that injury he suffered against Quinnipiac. But hey, Fairfield stretched this to an 11-point lead.
11-point lead for the Stags, 15:48 to go. We'll head to a timeout, and we'll be back in just a few minutes to see if the Stags can keep up this momentum here. We're back from the timeout here at Jim Whelan Boardwalk Hall. Fairfield coming out of the halftime, firing on all cylinders, up to an 11-point lead now. What's working for them?
You know, they're getting the offensive rebounds. Benjamin's starting to come into his own a little bit. He's up to a sneaky 9, but the rebounding has really been the side factor this half. Fairfield in the game, 27-20 edge. Booker Fennig's been the main man in that, already with 11 rebounds, 4 of those on the offensive end. And, you know, Fairfield played really good defense. Manhattan has a 2.5-minute scoring drought. Nothing's coming easy, and we even saw a shot clock violation there in the midst of that scoring drought.
Yeah, we got to keep this energy up, all means possible. Foot on the gas. You said it as we hit the break. That's exactly what the Stags are going to look to do here, as they're going to be defending underneath the basket, as it is Manhattan ball.
I also think Eric Mejia could be a really big factor. He's up to 8 already at a big three-pointer to send us to that media timeout.
Back in play, Roxborough has the inbound. He's working on Booker Fennig and tosses it away into the backcourt. And that's going to be a turnover right out of the timeout for the Jaspers. You can see it, the frustration on Winston.
Another miscommunication there from Manhattan. It just looks like they are not on the same page at all right now. 9 turnovers for Manhattan. Fairfield on the other end, just 5. And Coach Gallagher is going to make a substitution here, get Dinkins back in, try and get his confidence up. Still held scoreless so far in this game.
Yeah, you know, if they're going to make a comeback in this one, he's going to have to find his shot. He just hasn't looked, you know, like you said, confident. He's got to find, a comfort in his shot. And the Stags look to keep it going here. Tony Williams to bring it up. He'll find Mejia, back to Sparks. Sparks lets it fly, puts it in. Braden Sparks.
Yeah, and he needed that one. He was just 1 of 4 from 3 to start the game, but when he's on, he's as good as anyone the MAAC from beyond the arc.
And that'll force a timeout from Manhattan. Didn't take long to head right back to the bench.
Yeah, and that was just 2 very discouraging possessions. The backcourt violation, which almost should never happen. It's one thing if it's like a good defensive play. That was just an errant pass there from Roxborough. But then Sparks with a wide open 3 there just made Manhattan pay for poor defense there and not covering the shooter.
And you can see it, physically on these guys. Winston, you can see, he puts both hands up. There's a visible frustration here, and that's going to be something that's tough to get back in these 15 minutes. They're capable of it. The Manhattan team can get hot, but the Stags are doing everything that they really aim to do out of this timeout, and they're reaping the benefits right now. It's an 8-0 run in the past minute and a half.
Yeah, and then on the whole half, we're not even 5 minutes in, but both teams are going different directions, you feel like, so far. Fairfield's outscored Manhattan 12-2 in an 8-0 run you mentioned in that last 97 seconds, Kyle.
I mean, you want to take a look at the Fairfield, current 5 out there right now. You got 8 points, 8 points, 8 points, 9 and 3. And, the 3 is Booker Fennig, who has 11 rebounds. So everyone's doing their part right now. You're seeing that deep, distribution of points, assists. It's just allocated all throughout. That's what we thought we would see from Manhattan today. The statistics pointed to it, but the Stags have kind of flipped the script.
You're talking about depth, and, it's a team effort, and, you need every man next man up mentality to win championships. Manhattan 0 bench points. It's rearing its ugly end right now. I feel like here for Fairfield, playing by committee's working. Eric Mejia has really been great as of late. After Rollins picked up that 3rd foul, Mejia stepped right in, made a 3-pointer. He's got a quiet 8, and he's really gotten better as the season's gone on. Only a sophomore, so definitely could be a big part of the Stags team, not just in Atlantic City, but hopefully moving forward. The sophomore guard out of Washington Heights, New York.
Right. I think one of the bigger surprises of the night is the usage of Jaden Winston. Just the 5 points, but only 1 of 6 attempts. He's not going to the basket, not shooting as much as I think we've expected. We've seen him drive, a respectable amount. It's led to 3 points from the free throw line, but hasn't really done much scoring himself so far.
No, he hasn't. And we know we've picked up on him favoring his wrist, and I know he wants to stay out there as much as he can to anybody, but with that type of injury, maybe not 100%, maybe it's harder to cut to the hoop, maybe it's harder to get off a shot without feeling something in your hand. So that definitely could be paying dividends, but that really just puts other emphasis on the other guys on Manhattan's roster and lineup, and they haven't responded except for Jones, who has 16 now, and Roxborough, who has 8.
So we're back in action here. Manhattan ball on the side out. They're looking to flip the script here. It's been an ugly first 5 for them. Everything going Fairfield way. Roxborough's got it, top of the key. We'll swing it over. Winston Winston quickly doubled on the left side. He'll kick it out. Roxborough tries a triple. They need it. Can't get it to go. 3 Stags fly up, and 1 ends up with it.
That's a nice board by Mejia there.
Williams in transition, tries the 3, won't go. Rebound, can't get on the floor. It's going to end up as a jump ball there. Yeah,
so
3 guys.
That's the third or fourth time Benjamin's had a rebound. He just can't hold on to him. I'm not sure what's going on with him there. You know, we're so used to him boxing out and getting every rebound up, leading the league and maybe even top 20 in the country in offensive rebounds, but he's just not holding on to it 100% too many times so far.
Yeah, I mean, you could attribute it to just, the first playoff game atmosphere, the jitters. We had the chance to talk about, how this environment changes things for players, and, most of them obviously aren't factoring it in, but, the magnitude of the game certainly does, and could be playing into Benjamin here as he'll get the ball right back in the paint, looking to make some amends. Working on Isaac, spins to his right, steps through with the left, and draws the foul.
Had a lot of time with that ball there. I think it took at least 5 seconds off the shot clock there, just in him waiting to make a move, but Pade's evidence there as he draws the foul.
Yeah, something Benjamin's been doing all game tonight is being patient in the paint. He is not afraid to hold on to that ball. He's not afraid of the double team. He said it, he's got smooth footwork, and it's benefiting him right here as he heads to the line for 2. Sinks the first.
Yeah, Fairfield now just 6 of 10 on the game. If Fairfield want to keep this lead and pad it, they've got to start going 2 of 2 from the line. Especially as these games ramp up and you get further in the target, 1 of 2 may be the difference between winning and going home.
There it is, 2 of 2 for Benjamin. That puts him
me?
in double digits. I think he heard you. I think this whole team heard you heading into the second half. It's been a strong start. It's 45-29. Fairfield leads. Terrence Jones willing his team back into the contest. Nice pass inside to Isaac for 2.
Yeah, a little bit of a defensive lapse there by Fairfield. Manhattan just caught him napping.
Mejia pushes in, kicks out. Sparks, nice acceleration in. Can't finish on the floater.
Good shot there. Just got to knock that one down next time. We'll have more than enough room.
And they'll get it up top. Terrence Jones, they're trusting him to run it through. He'll go right by Rollins, kick it out. Winston resets behind the 3-point arc. He's got the bigger Wooker defending on him. He'll take a long 3-point try and connect.
Yeah, we talk about Fairfield's 3-point drought. That was, Manhattan's might have felt longer, I feel like, but who else other than Jane Winston to answer the bell when needed most?
Talked about how we needed to see him shoot, and there it is right there. On the other end, Mejia drives, gets the foul. And Terrence Jones cannot believe it.
And he wasn't even the one who fouled him. It was Roxborough.
Yeah, sprinting down half the court there. There's definitely a frustration in the air for the Jaspers as that's their 3rd foul here of the half. This one will be taken underneath the basket. Tony Williams on the inbound.
Yeah, it was on the floor. Manhattan's 3rd team foul.
Williams finds Benjamin. Drops it off back to Williams into the paint.
That was just a crazy way to...
Shot that one with his back to the basket there. And that's going to go back to Fairfield here. They threw it away.
Williams is limping. I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe slipped or something. He's going to stay in the game here, though. It's going to be interesting to see how he responds. He was not moving very well coming up the court.
He'll toss it back to Sparks here. Yeah, you can see he's pushing himself out. Mejia will hold on the right wing back to Williams. Over to Wooker Fenig. Screen to his left from Benjamin. Bounce pass into the corner. Sparks. Back up top, Williams. Back over to Sparks, 7 to shoot. Inside Wooker Fenig. Dives to the floor. Kicks it back out to Sparks. Nice and pass to Brendan Benjamin. The 2-hand slam.
How about the awareness from Wooker Fenig, though? Realizing the ball was loose, just dishing Sparks and dish it to Benjamin. Should get an assist on that one, but doesn't.
He'll get the hockey assist. It's a great heads-up play for a 2-hand slam. Winston dancing on the 3-point arc, spinning on Williams, chucks it up, and draws the foul.
Yeah, Casey doesn't like that one there, but Manhattan's got to get back to the line if they want to get back into this game. A nice 8 of 9 so far from the line for the league leaders in the conference who shoot it at the highest clip, around 79%.
Winston certainly making a living at the line tonight. You can get double digits here with just 2 field goals. But it's that ability to drive to the basket and draw contact that's, been really keeping his team in the game, honestly, as we see Caron Elliott sub back into the contest for the Jaspers.
Yeah, Deuce Turner will check in for Fairfield from Mejia. I'm surprised it's not for Williams, but he's still favoring. I don't know which leg it is, but I'm surprised it wasn't for Williams at least. Give him a breather.
Winston hits them both. He's got 10, and that brings the lead to 11 for the Stags. 12 to play here in half number 2, round 1 of these MAAC playoffs here. This tournament, Stags looking to make their mark here in round 1. Booker Fennig tries the long 2 and splashes it.
That's a nice shot there by Wooker Fennig. Roxburgh is limping now. That is an unfortunate and not a good sign for Manhattan, their second leading scorer on the night.
That'll send us to an official timeout. Stags up 13 here, 12 to go. We'll be back in just a few here on WVOF. Don't go anywhere. We return to action here, 12 minutes on the clock, Fairfield up 13. It's been a heavy game of wear and tear, Andrew. How are you seeing that impact these players on the court?
It's a grit and grind game, as I mentioned, what's going to be these latter stage. It's been a long season. Everyone's feeling it. But, it's a matter of perseverance and grit and who's going to will themselves to a victory to face the number 2 seeded St. Peter's Peacocks tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m.
Yeah, quick turnaround here for the winner of this team. Got to stay hungry, though. Plenty of game left. It'll be Manhattan ball as Elliott will bring it up for the Jaspers. Deuce Turner draws the assignment. Elliott drops it off. Here's Jones. Jones going to his right. The pass is too strong. In and out of the hands of Elliott, and that's a turnover right out of the timeout.
There's been an uncharacteristic amount of turnovers off passes and, miscommunications, and that's just the latest in what's been 11 total turnovers for Manhattan now.
Stags looking to benefit off that. Come out of the timeout hot again. Braden Sparks top of the key. Hounded by Jones. Takes the screen to his left into the paint. Kicks it out. Corner 3. Deuce Turner. Just a bit short.
I like that pass from Sparks there, though. Turner, that's a shot he's going to want back.
Winston has the big on him. He'll drive into the paint. The floater is too strong. And another rebound by Wooker Fennig. Winston got a hand on it, but they'll hold on.
Can never catch him sleeping. It'll always come when you least expect it.
Braden Sparks swings to Williams. Inside, Benjamin working on his post game one-on-one. The double. The Winston, the steal. They'll go up 2-on-2. Isaac to the cup. Finishes.
Offensive foul.
Anthony Isaac there to the basket. They won't count it.
That's a big break for the Stags. I'm hoping they show one on the Jumbotron here. It looked like Manhattan had an easy basket here. Yeah, he's on Sparks. Absolutely, he got the elbow in on Sparks. That's a great call from the official there, and Sparks hanging in there once again.
Yeah, Sparks definitely putting the body on the line tonight. That'll hold the lead at 13. Deuce Turner kicks it. Here's Sparks. Can't get the three to go. In and out on the wide open jumper.
That type of game offensively for him.
Terrence Jones coast to coast and passes it away. That's just an arid pass. He's trying to go behind the back, find his big man, but just not the kind of pass you need right now in a game like this.
That's one that irks a head coach especially. You know, you're down. This is the last time to get cutesy and kind of flashy. You know, fundamentals win games. Flair is nice, but doesn't win you games more often than not.
Stags got to take this opportunity here. This is another drought. 3 minutes here for Manhattan. Tony Williams on the wing. Swings up top to Turner. Inside Rooker Fenig. Rooker Fenig using that size and tosses it away on the foul as he hits the deck.
They're going to get a foul on the floor there. They're going to get it on Jones. I think he not only is he in disbelief, but the Manhattan crowd's in disbelief. I didn't see anything really there on the floor, and he's still visibly upset with that call.
So the Stags get another crack at it here. Just 18 on the clock. Turner lets it fly. That's going to be too strong there. And Elliott will push the pace. Kicks it to Dinkins. Working on Williams right by him. Right hand floater is good.
Yeah, Dinkins needed that one. That's just his first points of the game and ends a 2.5-minute scoring drought for the Jaspers.
Stags chuck it all the way up the court here. Deuce Turner holds on. Passes inside. Baseline for Benjamin. Working on Isaac. Taking his time. And finishing at the rim, Brandon Benjamin.
Yeah, and that was just his demanding presence and inside the paint, paying dividends there. He's up to 15.
Winston working on Turner. Swings back to Dinkins. Takes the screen to his right. He'll cut into the paint. Put up the two and put it in.
Just like that. 2 straight buckets for Devin Dinkins. There, he's got a 4.
So 51-40, lead is at 11. Stags got to watch it here. Williams bounce pass inside to Benjamin. He's doubled, kick back Williams. Williams drives in, can't finish. Probably looking to draw some contact there, no luck.
Yeah, he's got to get back on there and hustle.
Winston using that quick first step. He'll bounce pass inside, space and separation, but a little short, tipped. And corralled by Benjamin.
Great board by Benjamin, bailing out Williams for the overzealousness there on defense.
Turner here, 8:30 to play. Stags up 11.
And the clock is Fairfield's friend right now, and they're slowing things down, and I like this decision by Casey.
Williams on Dinkins. Bounce pass inside. Benjamin getting back to work. Kicks it. Turner poked loose. Winston, he's got it. It's a 3-on-2. Winston taking it himself to the rack.
And it's in single digits now. That's who else other than Jane Winston to turn defense into offense for the Jaspers.
Jane Winston starting to get hot here, showing why he is that defensive-minded player. Rooker Fenig will drop it off. It's Tony Williams on the right side. Swings. Kick it to 3. Deuce Turner puts it in.
That's a great way to hush a Manhattan run, who are now 5 of their last 7 from the court. Turner needed that one more importantly, though, to get going. He's up to 5 now. Just his second field goal in the game.
After he took some air out of the Jaspers crowd. Stunned their momentum just a little bit here, but Winston looking to keep himself hot. Winston cuts to his right, puts one up, trying to force the contact. No call. And they get a second chance at it. Jones on Rooker Fenig. Long 3-point try. A little too short. And a rebound by Benjamin.
Nice board there by Benjamin. He's up to 9 now. He's getting better as this game's going on the defense and rebound side, which is very encouraging to see.
Deuce Turner swings to Williams. He'll try a corner three. Bullseye.
Yeah, and that was most important one there. I think President Nemec's loving that one the most. Fairfield's got a couple of corner threes now. It's a 6-0 run.
Yeah, just like that. They brought it into the single digits. Fairfield responds. Quick 2 corner threes. Terrence Jones passes inside. He leads Isaac to the basket for the easy 2.
They're surprised to be that wide open, I think. Hesitated for a second there, but can't both 3 for 3s. You just got to chip this lead.
Tony Williams, hounded by Dinkins, drops it off to Sparks. Swings over to Turner. Turner holding on here, using that clock. Kicks into the corner. Braden Sparks. How about another?
Not 1, not 2, but 3. That corner's been Stags very well, treating the Stags very well right now.
All from the right corner, all relatively wide open. On the other end, Benjamin going for the block, and the putback from Isaac is good.
That's where the second defender is so important. It comes into great dividends. Great initial jump there by Benjamin to get the block. Just Isaac was on the trail, and no Stag defender was there to get him for the putback.
So both teams finding buckets here, back and forth. They'll send this to a timeout. 60-46. Stags lead. We'll be back in just a few minutes. We are back here for the final 6 minutes of play here. The Stags have controlled the tempo here in the second half. They lead 60-46. What do they need to do to continue that lead here in these final 6 minutes?
Well, if you want an honest answer, just keep shooting from that right corner on offense there. They're 3 of their last 3 from 3 different guys, Sparks, Turner, and Williams. But on a more game perspective level, it's passing up good shots for better shots. This team hasn't really had the best assist numbers all year, but they're up to 14, which is a really impressive mark considering where their season average is at, I believe, just 12.1 per game. So keep passing up good shots for better shots and keep winning that rebounding battle, which Fairfield has won, but not by as much of a margin as we think, at just 32-28.
Yeah, and I mean, a huge thanks to that is Declan Wicker-Fennig. He's collected 12 rebounds tonight for them on the offensive glass. He's done a great job at crashing, making an impact despite just the 5 points.
So that's what makes him so special. Even though he's having a rough night on the offensive end, just 2 of 7, he's making up for it with his defense and hustle. 12 boards, 4 of those on the offensive end. That one play that stands out in particular is when he prevented the turnover, had the awareness to dish it to Sparks, who dish it to Benjamin for the easy dunk there. That's a winning type of play that doesn't get reflected in the score sheet.
Yeah, no, that hockey assist on the shovel pass, I mean, that was a great heads-up play. It creates momentum. Did a good job here. Looks like the Stags are going to switch up a little bit with Mankati into the contest, give Benjamin a few minutes to rest.
Yeah, I like this move here. Benjamin, we don't still know if he's 100%. Good to get some depth. This is where it comes in handy.
It's the full press on the inbound. Stags able to beat it, getting it into Mejia as he crosses half court here. 6 to play in round number 1. Turner, nice pass inside, kicks it back out. Worker Fennig, he'll try a 3. Back iron and out, tipped. And last touched by, it looked like Terrence Jones maybe there on the side. That'll stay with Fairfield.
Yeah, I think Brandon Sparks just looked at Casey. He said, look at the clock. The clock is your friend, I'm assuming is what he said. There's no need to play rush here and in panic mode if you're Fairfield.
The pass is tipped there on the inbound. Stags will reset and try again.
Who else other than Jay and Winston? He's got 3 steals. All right, in that one game against Manhattan, the first game, he had 6 steals in that game. He might have 3 more, that's right.
Quick toss into Minkati, they'll get this one in. Booker Fennig on the right wing, kicks it to Braden Sparks. He'll drive to the baseline. 2 defenders on him, can't get it to go. Minkati tries to save it, but he stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, good hustle there, Bo, but that's what makes Manhattan's defensive approach so tricky. Yeah, Benjamin's out, but you still got a 7-footer and Isaac McCarty you have to deal with, who's been really good as of late.
Stags looking to keep the defensive pressure on. Here's Jaden Winston. Put the pedal to the metal, kicks it to Roxborough. Back to Winston. Gets the matchup he wants on Worker Fennig. Bounce pass inside. Lubicic back to Winston. Winston thought about the 3, steps in, pass Minkati to the basket. Can't get the roll.
Yeah, that's just an unlucky roll there from Winston, who did everything right again by Minkati.
Coast to coast. Mejia can't finish. Lucky he didn't get blocked from behind there by Winston. And they'll push it back up here with Elliott. Now Jones takes a long 3-point try. And that is tipped and now corralled by Sparks.
Looked like a desperation 3 more than anything. I know he's in a little bit of a rut. He only has 2 points so far this half, but not a smart shot there.
No, way too much time on the clock to be taking a shot like that. Stags will absolutely take it. Deuce Turner launches and connects.
I was going to say the same thing about Deuce Turner until that ball went in, but you know, these are the type of games where he needs to have his moments and elevate his level of play. He's had a nice second half here for Fairfield.
Elliott trying to spark something. The Jaspers need it now. Spinning on Minkati. Lollipop pass off the head of Lubicic, and I mean, that might just be the story of the game for the Jaspers.
And it's another miscommunication, but who's involved? Lubicic. He has 0 points and 0 of 3 shooting. As you're going to see another substitution here. It's just been miscommunication after miscommunication for the Jaspers.
Nice behind the back move by Mejia, creating some separation on Winston, but he'll reset the Stags. Again, clock is their friend. Up 63-46 here, just about 4 minutes to play. Turner swings it. Sparks drives into the paint, steps back. He'll reset, 8 to shoot. Bounce pass inside is tipped and stolen. And they lost it, but it's going to stay with the Jaspers. I'm not sure about that one.
I don't agree with that one in the slightest.
It was poked free, right underneath the basket. 3 Jaspers go after the ball there. None of them able to grab it.
Fairfield's just got to keep their composure here, though. Like, these bench reactions, I love that they're in the game. But, you know, officials aren't going to be shy to blow the whistle at a bench, you know, give them a warning or a tech. And, you know, this is the last thing you can afford if you're Fairfield. Don't do anything silly or make these mental errors. I absolutely disagree with the call the ref made, but there's no need to embellish and overreact.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to keep your composure where it needs to be right now. At the end of the day, you have a sizable lead. You know, control the elements that you can control.
But a lot of these are self-inflicted wounds by Manhattan. Yes, they're in a 2-minute and 20-second scoring drought, and Fairfield's defense has done a good job overall. But a lot of these turnovers are just miscommunication, poor passes, and just sloppy basketball from the Jaspers.
Yeah, you know, they're going to be kicking themselves. I mean, we've mentioned it, but, you know, Lubicic tonight, you know, he's been involved in all of these plays where, you know, you're scratching your head. It looks just like a clear miscommunication. The ball's thrown completely away. You know, the ball's thrown off of someone's head, off their back. I mean, these are the plays that you just can't have as a team, especially in this environment.
Yeah, and looking ahead tomorrow, Fairfield women's basketball will be making their MAAC Atlantic City debut. First game and the chance for a three-peat, the first time since Quinnipiac from 2017 to 2019. Fairfield will be taking on Sacred Heart, who beat St. Peter's in what was another grit and grind game. Sacred Heart pulled away in the second half here. But looking at Manhattan, their women's basketball team defeated, I believe it was Marist fairly handily here today. Brianna Davis had 25 points, so certainly good on the women's side for the Manhattan They'll be taking on the 1 seed Quinnipiac Bobcats. Men hoping to make a late, last-minute rally here.
Yeah, the men, they got something to prove, I mean, this is a team that, they had that, rough season last year, the exit on that first game, but, this year, they got something to prove, and they're doing a good job, especially here in this second half, at showing that they can be a consistent team.
Yeah, and, that's been what Fairfield has been this half. If you look at the box score directly, 32-19. As much as you want to say Fairfield has been off to a slow start, you have to give credit to their response in the face of adversity, where it looked like Manhattan had an edge going into that locker room at halftime, but Fairfield really has had the upper hand in almost every aspect of the game in the second half. As Lucas the Stag is dancing, I think.
Yeah, Lucas the Stag celebrating. It looks to be a successful challenge for the Stags. It would give them the ball with 5 seconds on the clock.
After the challenge was successful. It's Fairfield basketball on the baseline.
Yeah, challenge is successful, so 5 seconds for the Stags on the baseline. And, like we said, we're not surprised about that one right there. There's a reason they challenged that one. See if they can make something of it here with just 5 seconds.
Three minutes, 50 seconds to go here in this second half. As a reminder, the winner of this game will be playing the St. Peter's Peacocks, the number 2 seed in the MAAC tomorrow night at 8:30. Looks like the coach is talking over with Gallagher just to see what happened. He probably agrees with the call, just as, maybe the rest of the arena here. Waiting to get this last 3:50 to go.
Yeah, they actually lowered the clock now from 5 to 4, so even less time for the Stags to get something off. It'll be a quick shot. Lined up in a straight line here. It's Minkati, Sparks, Wooker, Fenig, Turner, and then on the inbound, Mejia. Looks like the refs are all squared away. We can get back into action.
One head ref, I think, still explaining to Casey.
Yeah, now they're going to Casey, yep. All right, we're back. Eric Mejia, 4 seconds on the inbound. He'll kick it out. Braden Sparks pumps, fires off a tough 3 off the glass. And shot clock violation there, didn't hit the rim.
Didn't have much to do play there, but that was definitely a rushed and, not an ideal shot from Sparks, not even hitting rim there, shot clock violation.
Jaspers to bring it up. Got to use the most of this clock here. They got to get moving now. On the hands of Jaden Winston. He'll drop it off. Here's Jones. Working on Mancati. Swings it cross court. Roxborough driving in. Going to his left. Spinning to the right. Just a little too soft on that one. Nice rebound by Isaac. His second chance effort is good. And one.
And there's 2 things Fairfield can't do in the late stage of this game. Don't foul. Don't give up offensive rebounds. Fairfield committed 2 of those sins just there. Manhattan's got an N1. Looking to cut to 14 here.
Like the defense, you forced the lefty Roxborough to his right. A little bit of an uncomfortable shot. He ended up short. But you allow, Isaac to get... He only got one hand on the ball, but he was able to tip it back to himself there twice in the air. And he'll force what could be a 3-point play here. As he won't finish the job. He'll just get the 2. And the Stags will bring it up.
That could loom large, honestly, not being able to actually get a 3-point play. Any point counts for Manhattan right now.
Bursting up the court is Mejia, but they'll reset it now and keep it with Deuce Turner. He'll swing it to Sparks.
Now it's just a matter of evading the double teams and getting crisp passes.
One-on-one with Roxborough, spins by him off the glass, won't go. Clean move by Sparks, though.
Too strong on that one.
Terrence Jones diving into the paint, hits the deck. Sparks all alone to the basket. He's got it.
Now Jones is feeling it. He's been upset with the refs all game.
Yeah, hasn't hit that one. Roxborough corner wing 3 won't go. The putback from Isaac is good.
Isaac's quietly in double figures now. He's got a double-double, 10 points, 10 rebounds.
Deuce Turner on the wing, steps through 2, kicks it up to Wooker Fenig, and right back to Mejia. He'll hold on to it, back by the logo. Spin move by Turner, pulls the jumper, too strong, rebound is up, into the hands of Winston. Winston push and pace. Kicks it back out to the trailing Dinkins. His three-pointer rattles in.
3-point goal, number 0.
Fairfield got to take a timeout here. Just matter of fundamentals.
Yeah, you calm things down a bit. Don't let Manhattan get too hot. Like we said, 2 minutes to go here, but still, this is Fairfield's game here. You just got to hold on strong.
Yeah, it's just don't make the boneheaded moves. Don't give up offensive rebounds. Don't foul. Don't do anything unnecessary that's going to give your opponent more chances than it already needs.
Yeah, no turnovers. I mean, they're doing a great job in that battle. Almost double. Manhattan currently 15-8. I mean, that's really been a killer for them. It's what stopped them from going on runs at multiple times. They've done a better job at it in the past, 4 or 5 minutes here, limiting it, getting these baskets that, Fairfield might just not be as hungry for, right? We just saw that Isaac putback alone on the offensive rebound there. Can't have those here in the final 2.
Yeah, but now it's about, we know Manhattan's going to press. You got to break this press effectively. Sacred Heart game, you go back to that game in early February at Sacred Heart. Sacred Heart stayed in that game for a little bit longer than it should have because Fairfield would keep turning the ball over.
Yeah, it really is a common theme. It's something they certainly have to clean up if they are able to win this one and move on to St. Peter's, because they're not going to get the same grace they did tonight.
Absolutely not. St. Peter's is one of the most disciplined and efficient teams in the MAAC. They don't waste a possession, and it's really going to be a matter of outdueling them. Any mistake Fairfield makes, St. Peter's will capitalize on. Potentially. Not over yet, though.
Yeah, 2 minutes to go here in this contest. Fairfield still got to keep the foot on the gas here, play smart basketball. Taking all the time they can get here, making sure everybody's on the same page.
And the last important thing, the clock is your friend. Even though Manhattan's not going to give you that same treatment, they're going to be all up in your face. Don't force a shot if you don't need to.
So the full press is on here. Wicker Fennig can run the baseline, and he'll get it in to Sparks. He'll return it, and they'll push it up to Mejia. He'll turn and reset to Sparks.
That was a great job there by Fairfield. If anyone touched the ball, it wasn't for more than a second.
Done a good job of beating that press tonight. Haven't really struggled too much with that, as Turner will hold on here, 10 to shoot. He'll get into action, screen to his right, driving baseline, step back, fading, no good. Rebound, Wicker Fennig. He is hounded by 2 defenders there, drawing the foul.
But that's exactly what you need. You can't give up offensive rebound, but every offensive rebound you can get limits another Manhattan possession, and now Fairfield's going to get another possession here.
It's 5 offensive rebounds now for Wicker Fennig, and a fresh 20 now on the inbound. Mejia will just run it out, and Sparks driving in. Long 2, gets it to rattle home. Braden Sparks.
Yeah, he's got 15, and we talked about it hasn't been the best shooting night, but for him to put a 15 on a consistent base just shows you how prolific of a scorer he is.
Jones swings at the corner. Winston lets it fly, and Winston sinks the corner tray. Make it 67-56 here.
Man's made 3 of their last 3 from the court. However, it might just be too little, too late, although the game's not over just yet. But we'll have loved this offense earlier in the game.
So the Stags will head to the line here on the foul off the inbounds. That's the 7th for Manhattan. It's Eric Mejia at the line, his first free throws of the night.
Now free throws all the more important.
Puts in the first.
I think ever since I said that, they've been doing really good. So
they've done a good job in the second half.
Mejia on the year, 73% free throw shooter, one of the better marks on the Stags team.
And Mejia will enter double digits with that one. He makes both and extends it now 69-56 with 1 minute to go here in the contest. Dinkins driving in, puts up the floater with the left, puts it in. That's 4 straight field goals for the Jaspers. Stags again, right through this press, no problem. And Braden Sparks will hold on to it. And there's the intentional foul from Winston.
Yeah, got a good amount of time off that clock, but Manhattan not going down without swinging, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, they don't want to wave the white flag just yet here. And I believe you said magic number would have been 65. The Stags could hit 70 right here in what's been a really productive second half. And Sparks will do just that. That's 70 points for the Stags here. Make it 71. Sparks sinks the second here. He's got them both. They've really cleaned it up from the line here.
11 of 15 now on the game. Certainly a much better mark than what was in the first half.
That one is bounced away and stolen, and that'll just about do it. Deuce Turner will hold on to it, and the Stags are going to advance and play tomorrow against the number 2 seed St. Peter's. Really strong victory here. You know, they certainly showed their flaws, but this second half really showed what kind of team they can be.
Yeah, for Fairfield, this is their first win in the MAAC tournament since that semifinal game against Marist in 2024. It wasn't easy at times, don't get me wrong, but a win is a win. And, you know, March is all about surviving and advancing. And, you know, Fairfield did the job tonight, but it's a quick turnaround tomorrow.
Manhattan just got to get this one in here. 5 seconds. Dinkins might actually put this up. He will. So that'll make it 71-60. The Stags take the 11-point victory here in round 1. They'll move on and again get a quick turnaround and play tomorrow. Great game all around. We saw a lot of contributions on the offensive rebounds. Wicker Fennig, 13 total, 5 offensive rebounds. And 15 from Benjamin, 17 from Sparks, 10 from Mejia. Just a great way of allocating the ball around. You know, they did a really good job in that second half, I think, of not forcing those three-pointers. They were a bit more complacent, and it showed.
Yeah, and absolutely. You talk about playing by committee and the importance of depth. Manhattan, whereas they played more 3 stars, Eric Mejia was great with 10 points, particularly with Halen Rollins being in foul trouble for almost the entire game, quite frankly. And, you know, again, Sparks didn't have the best shooting night, but he put up 17. Just goes to show you what a prolific scorer he is. Tony Williams has a nice contribution with 2 threes early on. He ended the game with 11. And Brendan Benjamin, I think, might have been the most encouraging side. Starting to look more like himself as the game progressed. You know, going up for rebounds, holding on to them, you know, emphatically dunking and, you know, swatting shots. You know, that's the complete version of Brendan Benjamin the Stags are going to need if they want to make a run here in Atlantic City.
Yeah, you know, the wear and tear really just doesn't show for a guy like that. You know, all these guys are battered. It was certainly a physical game, but, you know, you're just going to have to get right back to it tomorrow and, you know, play your heart out. And the Stags did that tonight with this 71-60 victory.
Live to see another day.
Live to see another day. WVOF will continue coverage here. Stay tuned. Make sure to stay subscribed to the channel. Keep an eye on the Instagram here for the posts. Keep your notifications on. We'll be back here tomorrow for some more MAAC basketball action. I'm Kyle Scannell alongside Andrew Jameson. Thank you for tuning in here for some Fairfield men's basketball. Again, 71-60. The Stags take this one. Have a great rest of your night, and we will see you tomorrow. Go Stags.